And if you think that you're going to make decisions about whether or not to take profit, just when we get there, I'll figure it out when we get there, you're in for a rude awakening because you're not qualified to make those decisions in that moment, not because you're not smart enough or intelligent enough, but simply because your brain is on drugs. All right. All right, so we got to talk about some stuff today. Testing 1, 2, 3. Now, this document, let me tell you why it took me so long. It took me this entire week to create because it is 96 pages of technical analysis. I basically wrote a book this week on the top 30 assets. So the crypto bull market is upon us. Bull markets are awesome. Bull markets are exhilarating. Bull markets are intoxicating. And if you have not experienced a crypto bull market yet in your life, hold on to your socks. It's getting ready to get really, really crazy. But bull markets are also terrifying. They're terrifying because what happens is you find yourself in the middle of a bull market and your investments have made crazy profits. And now the question is, should I take profit or should I wait longer? And the answer to that question will always be, your heart will always tell you, you got to wait longer. You got to wait longer. And let me tell you why that's the case. It's just human nature. There's a psychology to this, and it's psychology that drives the market. The question is, what hurts worse? Taking my money out and then the market pumps another 300 to 500%, or keeping my money in and then the market tanks 50 to 70%. Now, if you ask me that question when I'm sober, like right now, when I'm not intoxicated by the euphoria of the crazy profits that the bull market has brought me, I'm going to tell you every time, what hurts worse is leaving my money in and the market crashes. But in the midst of that euphoria, what hurts worse is the thought that as soon as I sell this, the market's going to pump another 300 to 500%, and I'm going to miss out on more crazy profits. And it's that form of deception, psychological deception, where you're deceived by your own mind, that has caused many an individual, including myself, to hold right through the top of a bull market and then to kind of sink into a place of denial while watching my profits just dwindle and get sucked right down into the doldrums of the next bear market. Now I got to wait another 4 years. Oh, that's painful. That's what a lot of us went through in 2021. And you only have to go through that once before you decide, I'm never going through that again. But the decision never to go through that again, the feeling that you don't ever want to go through that again, is not enough to ensure that you never go through that again. You got to do something different. What do they say? Insanity is doing the same thing in the same old way and expecting a different result. The question is, what was the problem that led to us holding through the peak of the bull market and watching as our crypto profits dwindled down to virtual nothing? And the mistake that we made was we didn't plan ahead of time. I know for myself, I didn't plan ahead of time. Had I had a plan ahead of time, I would have taken incremental profits on the way up. See, here's the problem. The problem is none of us know where the peak of the bull market is. There's a deceptiveness about both bull markets and bear markets. The bear market ends before you think it's over. Just when you think it's going to drop another 20, 30%, boom, it turns around, takes off, and never comes back down. And the bull market always ends before you think it's over. Just when you think it's going to take off for another 300-400%, boom, it peaks out, turns around, and starts its descent. So you've got to have a plan for the bear market, but you've also got to have a plan for the bull market. Now, seeing that the bull market is upon us, I did a video back in, what was it, September? Early September, I believe it was, in which I predicted that the bull market would start in October, and I was off by a month. I didn't take into account the election. Seeing that the bull market is upon us, what I really think is going to happen is I think Bitcoin's going to break $100,000. It's going to go somewhere between 103 and 115. And then it's going to pull back. And the whole market's going to pull back with it. Probably about 20 to 30%, something like that. Maybe to retest that broken line at 70,000. Maybe to stop shy of it. Who knows? But when that pullback happens, that is going to be an entry point. And then the bull market is upon us, and the market's going to go crazy, and it's going to take off. That's what I think is going to happen. Now, so what have I done? I've spent this entire week, more hours than I care to admit. The majority of this week, this Thanksgiving week, while my family's on vacation and we're eating a lot of food and my family's going out to movies, I've been home burning the midnight oil. And what have I constructed? The cryptogenic exit strategy. Now, this is really part one of the cryptogenic exit strategy. What I have done is I have done technical analysis of the top 30 crypto assets by market cap. And I have identified buy-in levels, basically buy the dip levels. If it pulls back and you don't have an entry point, here's a couple of good places to find entry points. But I've also identified, using a variety, a confluence of technical analytical tools and indicators, I've identified 3 exit points. And this is my strategy. Take incremental profits on the way up according to a prescribed, preconceived plan. Otherwise, you find yourself in the midst of the bull market and you're going to try to make a decision when your brain is on drugs. See, this is the thing. We don't understand how powerful the euphoria of a bull market is. When you see that your assets have made 300 and 600 and 1,000%, that experience to your brain is a lot like being on drugs. And if you think that you're going to make decisions about whether or not to take profit, just when we get there, I'll figure it out when we get there, you're in for a rude awakening, because you're not qualified to make those decisions in that moment, not because you're not smart enough or intelligent enough, but simply because your brain is on drugs. I'm not qualified in that moment. That's why I created this plan now, so that I don't have to think about it. I've set my sell orders 20%, 30%, 40%. At incrementally higher places. Now, this document, let me tell you why it took me so long. It took me this entire week to create, because it is 96 pages of technical analysis. I basically wrote a book this week on the top 30 assets and studied every kind of indicator that you can imagine. I looked at Fibonacci retracements, and I looked at fractal harmonics. I looked at trend analysis. I looked at volume, I looked at RSI, I looked at all of these different things and was looking for a confluence of levels that was attested by multiple different indicators. And that's how I came to the conclusions that I came to with these levels, both the buy-in levels and the take profit levels. Now listen, you can take this exit plan and simply set your sell orders. I mean, if right now you've got, say, I don't know, let's say you've got 10 Ethereum. You can simply take this exit plan that I created, open up whatever platform it is you're holding this on, your assets on, and set a sell order for 20% of your Ethereum at target 1. Set a sell order, that's 2 out of your 10. Set a sell order for another 3 out of the 10 at sell order take profit level 2. And then set a sell order for the other 4 of the 10 at take profit level 3. And then forget about it. You don't have to worry about, and then even, let's say you want to buy some more. You can just set some buy orders at buy level 1 and some buy orders at buy level 2. Forget about it. Now, here's the key. Not all levels, either buy levels or sell levels, are going to hit for every asset. I imagine for some assets, all of the levels will hit. For other assets, 1 or 2 of the levels will hit. And still for other assets, none of the levels will hit. Some assets will go into, will start to decline instead of breaking out. Other assets will blow past all 3 levels and keep going. So that's why I hold on to that last 10%. My first level's 20%, second level's 30%, fourth level's 40%. That leaves 10%. That 10% is a long hold, because one of my crypto principles is never sell everything of anything. Never sell everything of anything. Why? Because you never know where it's going. Something is going to just explode and take off. So I always keep just a little bit of everything. So where can you find this exit strategy plan? Well, it's in my Patreon. Now, you can either join my Patreon and get it for free, or you can just buy it and go on about your business. Either way is fine with me. I know I haven't been around a whole lot. I know you haven't seen my face a whole lot, partly because I've been servicing my corporate client. I have a corporate client that I do technical analysis for, and that has been taking up a lot more of my time. So I haven't had as much time for the crypto market, but this is such an important moment. I have begun to re-engage. It's such an important moment. It's the moment we've been waiting for the last 4 years. And now that it's here, I want to empower you to sleep in peace every night, wake in joy every morning, and walk in love every day. And this exit plan can empower you to do so. So check it out. Check it out. Remember, this is not financial advice. I'm not a licensed financial advisor. I'm not suggesting that you buy anything or not buy anything. I'm simply looking at the technicals. You can see this as information. You can see this as education. You can see this as entertainment, whatever you want to see it as. But I've simply looked at each of these assets and said, if I were buying or selling this asset, how would I do it? What would be the structured approach, the evidence-based approach that I would take? And I created an analysis for every asset, for all 30 of these assets, using that methodology. And I believe it's very useful. I believe you're going to find it very helpful. I've also begun to re-engage in the trading arena. I've got some trades going on right now. I've been trading on BidFi, and I got some trades that are up 2,000% already, a couple of them. And I think I've got a strategy that is quite viable, especially in a bull market. It works quite well. So you're going to see some more information from me on that. I'm going to be putting that out there in my Patreon and inviting my Patreon community to join me there. But at any rate, everything that I create, everything that I produce is designed to empower you to sleep in peace at night, wake in joy in the morning, and walk in love every day. And here's the thing, in a crypto bull market, the excitement, the euphoria, it's wonderful, but it can be so wonderful that it robs you of sleep at night. You can be so excited about your profits that you can't sleep, and so worried that the market's going to crash while you sleep that you wake up in the middle of the night checking charts. I don't want you to do that. I don't want you losing sleep, because if you lose sleep, you lose joy in the morning. If you lose joy in the morning, you lose love during the day. You become distant to your family members and friends and community. Your work starts to suffer, and all because the siren song of the crypto bull market is luring you into the depths. And I don't want you to crash your ship on those rocks. All right, that's all I got for you today. Do me a favor and hit that like button, subscribe to this channel, leave me a comment letting me know what you think. Check out my Patreon at patreon.com/cryptogenic. And above all, make it your aim to sleep in peace at night, wake in joy every morning, and walk in love every day. And with that being said, this is Cryptogenic signing out.